Welcome to the We Are Wake Tech podcast with your host, Wake Tech President, Dr. Scott Rawls.
Hello, I'm Scott Rawls, President of Wake Tech and the host of the We Are Wake Tech podcast. And this month we're talking about life sciences and biotechnology. And we're fortunate to be joined by Leslie Eisenhower, who leads all things life sciences and biotech for us as our department head for biotechnology and pulls together the many different parts of Wake Tech that contribute to training and education for biotechnology here in our region. And it's a lot, and there's a lot going on in this region. This region is one of the top 4 employment hubs for life science employment in the United States and has been growing by leaps and bounds just in the recent past 2 years. So we're going to talk today about how Wake Tech is growing too to support the great job opportunities that exist. And so Leslie, thank you so much for joining today. It's an exciting time to be in biotech in Wake County in the Research Triangle area. And it's an exciting time to focus on biotech at Wake Tech. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you. It sure is. And honestly, I don't think we've ever seen a time since the inception of RTP like we are seeing right now.
It is.
And what a time to be alive. Yes.
That's right. That's right. It is a great time to be alive and lots of things going on. So we're gonna cover those as quickly as we can today. But first we want to talk about Leslie Eisenhower, who is still relatively new to Wake Tech, but has joined us to bring together the different aspects, training, our Capstone Center in partnership with NC State, and our degree programs, now a second degree program at Wake Tech. And we'll talk a little bit about that. But first, want to do a teaser that this is a big week for biotechnology at Wake Tech because we just opened our new Lilly Center for Science and Technology on our RTP campus. Remarkable facility we'll talk about in just a little bit. Home to a new high school, will be a new high school, early college partnership that will include biotech, and home to our second biotech related degree, the new biotech degree. So we'll talk a little bit about that in just a minute. But before we do, let's talk about Leslie and tell me a little bit about you and coming here. I will say Leslie's one of the coolest people who work at Wake Tech, and I can say that because I am definitely not. I am not very interesting, but Leslie lives on a farm that's been around forever. She follows a rock band. I can't remember which one it is. She's just cool. So, but tell us a little bit about Leslie Eisenhower and your journey to Wake Tech.
Absolutely, absolutely. I born and raised in Kinley, North Carolina. In the years that I've been alive, it's managed to add one additional stoplight. So we are very proud of our little town, friendly Kinley. And I went to school at Campbell University, go Camels, in pharmaceutical sciences. And then also I got my master's degree from East Carolina University, go Pirates, in technology management. And I was at Johnston Community College supporting Grifols and Novo Nordisk companies there in Clayton for about 14 years. So before that, I was a pharmaceutical engineer, and before that, I was in school and doing all sorts of part-time jobs. But now I live out in Kinley still, moved back there and live on a large farm with my fiance, and we enjoy all things outdoors. And yes, I do follow Led Zeppelin. Their music. Any type of, well, I love all types of music, but that era is definitely different.
Well, I knew there was something there. I was trying to recall. Well, tell us too before we begin, but so you've been around the biotech world, it sounds like since the day you were born, because you've been doing it for a while. And I just finished this weekend reading a book, Codebreaker, about the recent emergence of all the biotech discoveries, which has had such a big impact too in our COVID recovery here. And so it's a fascinating world, but it's not just what's happened in the last few years. And you've been in this world longer than most. How did you become interested in biotechnology?
Well, to be honest, it's an interesting story because when I was growing up, there was only 5 jobs any person could do, and it seemed like that you didn't know about any other type of job other than a nurse, a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, and here we have this huge burgeoning industry when I was growing up, in Clayton, but also RTP. And there was just not that much guidance in working in biotech. Nobody knew what it was. When you drive past most of these companies, there's concrete, there's walls, and then there's, this was before most of the internet, so you never knew what these companies were doing. And so now the times are changing so much where everybody has biotech in their hands on their phone, researching about, COVID and coronavirus and all the new cures for different types of diseases, treatments. And so the knowledge is human knowledge, and general knowledge has reached every population there is in North Carolina. Even my small town, everybody asks me about biotechnology now, whereas used to, there was really nobody to talk about it with. So I think where we're at in our little tiny region is that pretty much anywhere in this area within 30, 45 minutes, there is a good paying job in biotech. And I think that as we move forward, biotech is going to become more and more common. Lots of startups, new companies are popping up with things as simple as doing a DNA test and sending it off to be analyzed and getting that information back. Everybody has biotech at their fingertips. So it's an exciting time to be alive. It's very different than when I was coming along.
Well, you said we're a little region, but when it comes to biotech, we're not a little region. And it's emerged over the last 20 years as you've kind of grown with this industry too in your career. And, you kind of alluded to before we move forward and talk about all the things Wake Tech's doing, but we've never seen a time, I think, in our region like we have just in the last 2 years. I mean, Fujifilm Diosynth Biotechnologies announced about a year ago that they were going to build the largest end-to-end, I can't even say all the words there, but it's
the CDMO.
contract manufacturing in North America, but it's essentially $2 billion investment in Holly Springs, North Carolina, 750 jobs. And then right behind it was not too long later, Amgen announced another big investment also in Holly Springs where they'll be growing. And then we've seen other companies, Invitae and others coming into the market, as well as the growth of, the continued expansion and opportunities that have existed in places in Wake County like Securus and GlaxoSmithKline and Zebulon. And so these opportunities have been growing for a while. And then this past year, it seems like there's been an explosion.
It's taken off. And also too, Jaguar Gene Therapy is another one that's growing in this area. It's hard to wrap your mind around the number of jobs and opportunities there are going to be in the next 5 to 10 years. But I think that we're at a great place in terms of building our internal capacity and getting support and supporting other community colleges in our local region to be able to help get students into those good paying jobs. So I think if there was any time to kind of all the forces combine to come together, the time is now. We have a lot of really good talent. We've got some really good in-depth programs that explain and teach the very essence of biotech, but definitely always changing with it. So we're at a good place, I think, with a lot of our regional partners to be able to answer the needs of our industry.
Well, at Wake Tech, we're definitely doubling down our investments in biotechnology and biopharma manufacturing related opportunities for our students because there's such great jobs there. And you represent some of that by bringing you in to help pull these together. Previously, you would go to different parts of Wake Tech to find the different pieces, and now we try to connect them all, and you're that connector. But I alluded to some exciting new things, some we just announced this week. Before we get to that, we'll save that for the end. Let's kind of back up a little bit and talk about some of the pieces that have been here at Wake Tech and what they offer and what they look like moving forward. I'm going to start with our first degree program here, which is Biopharmaceutical Technology degree program, which also has some real excitement coming up in what we're getting ready to build in our new Eastern 4.0 campus. But tell people a little bit about what that program is. It's that applied associate degree, and that was our first degree here at Wake Tech, applicable to biotechnology, in this case, biopharma manufacturing.
Yeah, that program is 30 years old. So it's had some different changes and flows. But one of the things that we're doing now with it, as of this past August of 2021, is change some of the courses to make it more manufacturing focused. So before, the program itself was a mixture of a little bit of sciences, a little bit of manufacturing. But what we want to do is answer some of our industry needs that we hear about a lot. One is automation, training in automation, understanding how automation interacts with this high throughput scientific equipment, and then also being able to support the maintenance of this equipment. So giving people more hands-on opportunities, but also some of the automation aspects. So we have to adjust too. Biotech is probably, along with IT, the most changing programs and learning that people need to do to be able to work in it. So there's always something new coming out. And so biopharma is really going to be the one that stays on top of how industry shapes their manufacturing process. So whether it be robotics, or whether it be new types of technology for drug delivery, our focus in the downstream, really from when you get the R&D, the drug that you're ready to work with, and then you want to mass scale it, that's where this program will meet that need. And we currently have the program at our South Campus, but as we are talking and learning here, and you're listening in, folks are listening to this podcast, we're in the planning stages of our East Wake campus and getting that program moved out there. And so we're looking forward to the higher end equipment and automation that's going to go along with that program once it moves.
Yeah, we're about 3 years out, but that means the design work with the architects is taking place right now, and pretty detailed design. And I've been able to at least listen in. I don't have a whole lot I can contribute at this point, but when Leslie and others are working, and that's going to be so exciting. The new space for biopharma that will be located there, but also how it'll connect with the advances that we're moving forward in terms of automation and mechatronics and microelectronics and those connections. So are you excited about what's coming down the road in a few years?
Like I said, that's a great day to be alive. Just the thought of what we're going to be able to do and to teach our college students about the different technologies is going to far surpass anything that I could have ever imagined 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 5 years ago. Yeah. So one of the things that we're really excited about is isolator barrier technology systems, learning more about behavior-based interaction with your environment and with medicine. And I think that we're going to be able to pull off something really cool at East Campus once we can get into the design phase and procurement of some of this equipment. So it's really going to be something cool to behold.
Well, that's a future podcast to look forward to.
Oh, yeah.
One thing I'll just throw out there too, I've really been excited about how our university partners, East Carolina University, NC State University, have just been working so closely with us in the design of this facility, because it's going to mean a lot. We're a big part of it, but we're not the only part, and it's for folks in our region, it's just going to be tremendous. And before we, the notion of university community college partnerships in biotech is something that has existed for the past 20 years. So the creation in our system of what's called BioNetwork in the community college system. And it's really manifest in our sharing of a facility at NC State Centennial Campus, BTech as we call it, the Biotechnology Training and Education Center, where on one floor is Leslie and a team of folks in the community colleges providing advanced training for production technician and biopharma. And on the other floor is NC State with the scientists and engineers and other work, and just a tremendous partnership that I think is really one of a kind. Describe to folks what Capstone is, the Capstone Center, which also falls under you, and how it relates to the overall goals with our university partners through BTech.
Absolutely. So we are located here. A part of a function of Wake Tech is located here at the Capstone Center, which, as you mentioned, is part of the BTech on NC State Centennial Campus. And our focus is biotechnologies, biomanufacturing training. We kind of take the industry training to a whole nother level here at this site. So a lot of our services that we do revolve around teaching and training biotechnology to industry employees. So incumbent workforce, maybe a skill up of a certain group, or learning new skill sets for a department at an industry. We work through a program called Customized Training here at Wake Tech and other community colleges across the state to provide on-time, real-time delivery of pertinent information, training curriculums such as CGMP, HPLC, aseptic processing, and I could go on and on and on about the different courses that we offer. But generally speaking, if it's 3 weeks or less, we offer it here at Capstone in some form or fashion of the different biotechnologies.
It's you threw out a lot of acronyms that are pretty common in the biotech world, but wouldn't be common to folks like myself. But what it really means is the very advanced levels of biotech training are possible through us, through Capstone, and through our partnerships with NC State. And that's what makes this such a unique ecosystem for training and education in the United States. In fact, that ecosystem, well, we know it. It's been key in some of these decisions that companies have made to create their jobs here, because they can find opportunities here for training and education that they can't find anyplace else in the country.
Right. So we're a part of what's called the North Carolina Bio Network in North Carolina. And really what we're able to do with this unique consortia is to support all community colleges, all counties in North Carolina with different things such as food, services, natural products. We have a whole division of that. We do STEM outreach to the public schools. So we support that at an early age, learning about the biotechnologies and other types of STEM related fields. And then our particular arm is the industry training piece, but we also do virtual learning. We produce a lot of gaming exercises and training that anyone can access free of charge from ncbionetwork.org. So our team is very robust. And when an announcement occurs of the growth of a life science company, there's so many ways that we can answer with their needs, from STEM outreach to biotech training to virtual learning. There's a lot of different ways that we help support economic development in our area and across North Carolina. So.
And the facility there is so unique too. I mean, I've heard it described as the largest biotech teaching factory in the United States. I don't know if that's true or not, but when you go in and you see the clean room suites and what's there, the combination between the Capstone that the community college system runs and the other parts of BTech operated by NC State, it certainly seems like the most advanced biotech training facility in the country.
For what we're able to determine, it is. So there's not a consortia like that of a community college, a university, both very high, a lot of people, a lot of moving parts, but then you also have the level of the Bio Network and the North Carolina Biotechnology Center, which helps feed us information about new economic development that happens and how we can support it. So there's really nothing comparative to it and to us here to any other entity that I know of. There are a lot of states right now that could be envious of what we're able to accomplish. But we're just very, very thankful that we get to serve in this capacity in the entity we have. Right now we have about 16 open projects with different companies in our area, and we look
Meaning
to grow those.
specialized, customized training with companies that are growing, essentially is what that means.
Yeah, and we also train other community college faculty that teach in the biotechnologies. So we have about 10 different community colleges that we're helping upskill their faculty, procure equipment to be able to support their region. We are one entity, so we feel like the best way we can do that is teach and train others, serve other community colleges, and even other universities have come to us for some specialized training. So we know we're doing good when our neighbors still seek out our help, and we're able to help them and share in the wealth of information that's out there in teaching and learning now in biotech.
Well, that's great. And that's what helped make North Carolina a leading biotechnology state in the United States. You know, if I'm listening to this and I'm out there and I don't know anything about biotech, but I know it's booming, I know that they're remarkable jobs. We've heard a lot of terms and technology today, but if I wanted to get started, one of the things that community college offers that was created years ago with a great partnership with the North Carolina Biotechnology Center is a program called BioWork. And that's a great entry point into the life sciences field and to life science, biotech, biopharma jobs in North Carolina. Can you talk a little bit about BioWork and that entry point on the ladder to bio opportunity?
So yeah, absolutely. One of the misconceptions when I talk to anyone in from the public or just general interest is that you have to be really good in math and science, or you have to be a genius to work in this field. And I always say if you had to do that, I'd never got into it. But the truth of it is it takes all skill levels, all levels of degrees, certificates, background to do biotech, biomanufacturing. And one of the ways of entry into this field is through BioWork. And BioWork is around 140 or so contact hour course. It's one course. And most colleges, there's several colleges that offer this course.
Community colleges.
Yeah. Community colleges that offer it. It's 6 months or less most of the time. And usually is within one traditional semester, so like fall, summer, spring. But it is minimal costs compared to full-time tuition.
Most of it's free right now within Wake Tech.
Yeah.
So,
We have a lot of opportunities, scholarships, and grants that a lot of people have taken advantage of to have it completely free. And then we have industry waiting to hire them. We have a couple of times a year we'll do a career fair. Lately it's been a virtual career fair, but we've had 20, 30, 40 different companies represented in North Carolina from the RTP region, East and West, to hire our students. There's a lot of need right now for talented, just good workforce, good workers. And a lot of times all you need is a short-term certificate to bridge the gap between what you know and how you can transfer those skills over to biotech. So we love the BioWork course. Our industries love the BioWork course, and that would be, if anyone was interested, I would suggest starting in that. And then look at, if you don't have a degree, we still need people with degrees too, and an associate degree. So you can definitely look at those types of programs in our area as well.
BioWork to me also is one of our shorter term non-degree courses that I sometimes will call a foothold program. And it gives right now really double footholds, because if you go through BioWork and given the job opportunities that are there, you're going to get job offers. I mean, there's so many people who are looking to hire people through the BioWork program, but it also gives you a foothold with some credit back into the Biopharma degree, should you want to keep moving forward at Wake Tech, and then even Biopharma into a university opportunity like our partnership with ECU, who is co-located. So if you want to get started, it's the foothold into employment, but it's the foothold into career progression as well.
That's right. We provide 2 course credits in our biopharmaceutical technology program for BioWork, BPM 110, PTC 110. And then from there, you work towards completing your associate's degree with us. And then once you're done with that, a great option is going to East Carolina University in their Bachelor of Science Industrial Technology program. It's called BSIT for short, but it's a wonderful completion program where you're able to do the rest of your 2 years all online and getting your bachelor's degree with them, and then even a master's and a PhD. If you want to keep going, you can do it online as well. So I just think that, and I'm a graduate of one of those programs, and so I can speak from experience and say that, there's several different degrees. That biopharmaceutical technology degree is one of them that you can transfer in with, and those folks are wonderful over there to work with. Superb advisors, program advisors, and leadership that help make your experience great.
Well, and that's the Bio Ladder to career opportunity that's available through Wake Tech. And we've been talking a little bit about some of the program areas that have been at Wake Tech for a few years now. The Capstone Center, our administration of that, our biopharma degree, BioWork. But as we mentioned at the start, we're doubling down. And even in those former programs, there's a lot of newness, like the new facility for biopharma that'll be in East Wake. But let's talk about some exciting things that are moving forward, even just this past week, as we announced some of those that are taking place based at our RTP campus. One is a new degree. It's a second bio degree, and it's biotechnology. And that's based at our RTP campus, our new Lilly Center for Science and Technology that we just opened this week, or just cut the ribbon on this week. And tell us a little bit about the biotechnology degree. Why would you have a biotechnology degree and a biopharma degree? What's the difference? Why would I want to do one over the other?
Well, really, it's two different aspects of what it takes to create a drug and manufacture a drug. So if you're thinking about what is the difference, the way I tell people with biotech, it's more about small equipment, working in a laboratory in a small group setting, working on some very high cost small equipment. In terms of working in the biopharma, it's much more about the huge bioreactors, large stainless steel type of environment. And there's different types of techniques and tasks that those two different areas would experience. So when we talk about the biotechnology associate of applied science degree, I really try to help people understand the importance of research and development, the new and emerging cell and gene therapy companies that are out there that may not have a huge manufacturing line to deal with, or they're not ready to manufacture huge amounts of drug yet, but they still need some techniques and tasks that are done at the bench level to be able to get them to the point where they're able to mass produce. And then there's a lot of companies that are in the area that need chemical technicians, microbiological technicians, and quality technicians to work on site in their large drug manufacturing operations. So there's a lot of opportunity with our biotechnology program to really train that next level workforce. And also, it's a great transfer opportunity too. We are working on partnerships right now with a couple of universities, but it also transfers to ECU as well. So we are excited about the opportunity that doing some of the research and development training that we'll provide to our students and our local economy.
And sometimes when we throw around names of companies, I mean, a lot of times we're making reference to the large biopharma manufacturing, which is what you would, in our biopharma degree, really being prepared to work in, whether that's, the Lilly Center. So we need to do a shout out for Eli Lilly that's based in RTP, which is building an amazing facility there. Fujifilm, Diasynth, Amgen, and Holly Springs that are just doing significant new facilities. Securus that's been there, GSK and Zebulon. So they're all around us. But the smaller lab-based biotech, like gene therapy, cell therapy, other type, those jobs may not be in the same masses of numbers, but there's a massive number of those jobs growing all throughout, even around that RTP campus, just ringing that campus as different types of new lab-based work opportunities.
There's a lot of growth in our area, whether it be different labs operating and testing facilities, or like Spark, the new initiative called Spark, that's within a mile of our Morrisville campus. It's going to kind of be an incubator for new ideas.
$1 billion
Yeah.
park. Yeah.
So when you look at the grand scheme of things, you really need, it's hard to find a 2-year or associate's degree to meet the full spectrum of drug development, discovery, manufacturing. You really have to focus in on specific jobs and be able to train for those here at the community college. So really having those two distinct paths and working with students to determine which path is best for them early on is going to be, I think, very successful for our industry, knowing exactly where those students' skill sets map to in the jobs.
And we teased it a little earlier, so let's come back to it. So we're really doubling down at Wake Tech, and this was a huge week for us at Wake Tech because we cut the ribbon on a wonderful new facility on our RTP campus in Morrisville called the Lilly Center for Science and Technology. Named for a significant donation from Eli Lilly and support from several different biotech as well as IT companies that ring that part of our community. Kind of in folks who are listening now, we don't have the pictures to say, but can you paint a picture of what's now at the Lilly Center that we didn't have before for the folks who are out there listening to this podcast? And we teased it a little earlier, so let's come back to it. So we're really doubling down at Wake Tech, and this was a huge week for us at Wake Tech because we cut the ribbon on a wonderful new facility on our RTP campus in Morrisville called the Lilly Center for Science and Technology. Named for a significant donation from Eli Lilly and support from several different biotech as well as IT companies that ring that part of our community. Kind of in folks who are listening now, we don't have the pictures to say, but can you paint a picture of what's now at the Lilly Center that we didn't have before for the folks who are out there listening to this podcast?
This is a very unique center in that it's almost like each level of the building tells a story. On the top floor, which is where our biotechnology degree program is housed, not only do you have science labs that support the coursework that is done in that program, but you also have a place called the CoLaboratory, or CoLab for short. And that place is unique in that we will be hosting a lot of partnered training programs, professional development opportunities, and industry training on specialized equipment in that space. We also have a clean room there that we're able to do some actually behavioral training of our future employees in biotech, current students, and then a biowork lab. So we're able to run some evening classes out there for working professionals who want to get a foot in the door in that local area. The second floor.
Before you go off the third floor, I'll ask you a question. Yeah. You mentioned the clean room, which is, and the behavioral training. So the behavioral part of what we're talking about with clean room is really the issues about just intense sanitation safety is really, when you're talking about behavioral, it's gowning and it's how you handle product, if you will, or drugs. And talk about that a little bit, because it's hard to envision what that means.
Well, you wouldn't want just anything given to you in a syringe, right? We have a lot of work that goes into making sure a drug is safe and effective in its delivery into the body. So taking that, for instance, if you're making a drug, you want to make sure it's safe that you would want to take it, right? Or that you would want to give it to your kids. A lot of times the issues that we have around when a company has issues around their drug product, it is related to contamination, or it is related to not following good manufacturing practices. And so if we train the people how to make a quality, safe, effective product, then they are able to add that value back to their business when they actually start to work there. People are the number one reason why areas get contaminated. We are living, breathing organisms, right? But we're also the number one way to prevent that contamination through learning, through behavior, through practicing, working in environments that have to be sterile for safety.
Now, I interrupted you. You're getting ready to walk down to the second floor because what's happening there is exciting. We'll leave the first floor for some other podcast time because we'll never have a chance to get through the whole new Lilly Center. But that second floor is exciting. Why is the second floor exciting, Leslie?
The second floor is very exciting, and the reason being, it'll be a high school on our campus. And students coming into the high school, they come in as freshmen into our high school. They'll be able to choose between 3 IT programs and 1 our biotech program as kind of like if you had a minor or something along with your high school. You can take these classes that'll lead you towards hopefully finishing your associate's degree. That high school, there's more to come about that, and I think you probably could do a whole podcast just on that high school. But how exciting it is to have students starting at a very young age, getting interested in biotech, being able to choose that program major, and be ready for the workforce at 18 years of age. I couldn't even imagine that opportunity back then years ago.
Yeah, it's an amazing opportunity. So what we're referring to is starting in August of next year. It will be the new Wake Early College of Information and Biotechnologies, the 4th such partnership that we have with our amazing partners at Wake County Public Schools. So it's a public high school there on the RTP campus. About 100 students for each class, and the 4 areas: three IT. Computer programming, cybersecurity, and network management, plus biotechnology. And students will start their associates programs that while in high school. Many of them will finish at the same time they're finishing high school, or can come for just 1 additional year free of charge to finish up. So a huge leg up and head start for folks who are interested in IT and biotech in high school. So we're very, very excited about that. And we also have a biotech connection with one of our existing partnership high schools, the Vernon Malone Career and College Academy in Raleigh. So that's where we have a Biopharma connection. So we want to make sure people know about that as well, because even though it's not new, it's a real opportunity for high school students in Biopharma. Can you mention just quickly that program?
Yeah, so Vernon Malone is a high school where students can choose several programs to take along with their high school credits, and different trades programs, skill-based programs, and biopharmaceutical technology is one of them. So it's one of, again, our more manufacturing-based program. And we have excellent faculty out there, excellent supportive staff. We've got different size classes, but they're all pretty small, pretty hands-on. And we just feel like that's a great feeder program too for our industries, that they'll be able to interview students 16, 17 years old and have them ready to come work for them upon graduation. So that's the best thing we can do is at Wake Tech is prepare the next workforce and get them young, get them interested young, and get them those certificates, diplomas, and degrees to make them employable in our industry.
We're going to wrap up. We could have a bio conversation all day long.
Still not get to the end of all the biotech.
Yeah. So many opportunities, career opportunities in our region, and then career opportunities through Wake Tech. And we've been able to hit a few. One of the things, though, I wanted to wrap up with is the notion of the collaboration and the ecosystem. I mean, that's what really separates us here. Is it's not about any one particular program or college or institution. We've talked about the unique partnership we have with NC State at BTech, but it's also how we work together with our partners. 5 community colleges here in this region who we work closely with, in a consortium we call BioBetter, to move us all forward. But one particular partnership I wanted you to touch on that we're really been trying to foster here in the past year is our relationship with Durham Tech and what we're calling RTP Bio. And part of the reason to really focus with Durham Tech is we share Research Triangle Park, and we bring different resources as two colleges, but we want to make sure we can make 1 + 1 = 3 to support this unique hub in RTP, but the counties of Durham and Orange and Wake that are such a cornerstone of biotech job opportunity in North Carolina. Can you give us a little teaser about the BioNet or the RTP Bio Collaborative?
Sure. So one thing we realized in biotech, it's great to have buildings, it's great to have new equipment, supplies, but at the end of all of it, what you have to have is great people to do the work in biotech and teaching and learning. So we have some of the best faculty and staff that I've ever met here at Wake Tech that really want to push the needle further in biotech. And at Durham Tech, it's the same way. That the group over there that does short-term training, that does their associate degree programs in the life sciences, they want to be able to answer the call to industry for a trained workforce too. And we share both of us and that team there and our team here, the thought that in order to get there, in order to get where we need to be to help all these industries grow over the next 5 to 10 years, it can be done together. And so a couple of tenets of the RTP Bio Consortia. One is a shared space. So utilizing our new RTP building, Lilly Center, for some of that integrated professional development, learning some new technologies together, and also working together on maybe some shared scholarships, doing summer camps for students and getting them interested in the biotech field, and really just as we go along, listening to what each other needs. What do we need in terms of people and environment, equipment? What do we need in order to help our industries grow? So the collaborative is, it is about space, it is about equipment, but it's mostly about us people working together to solve our complex needs of our industries.
And we should give a shout out again. This was a big week because we named the new facility at RTP campus the Lilly Center for Science and Technology. And part of the reason is Lilly has given us a significant donation, which is going to support both institutions, Wake Tech and Durham Tech, as you just mentioned, scholarships for students from both colleges and professional development for our biotech related faculty at both institutions. So we got a good jump start here on what is a great collaboration that supports one of the most concentrated biohubs for employment in the United States. And Leslie, you said great people. Well, we're fortunate to have you. You're a great person, and
Thank you.
The team that's here and the teams that within the community colleges and our university partners create this unmatched, as I like to say, bio ecosystem that you can't find any place else in the United States. And not only are we training people and educating people for the job opportunities, but because of that ecosystem, we're also attracting more opportunities here. So it is a very virtuous cycle of training and education and employment growth in this region. And so thank you for all that you're doing, all that your teams are doing from all the different aspects that are going into biotech related training and education here at Wake Tech and across this region. So Leslie, thank you so much for spending time with us, because you don't have a whole lot of time. There's a lot of things going on.
There's a lot of things going on, but you know what? It's a good time to be alive and being in this industry right now. And I do believe if you do good things do come back. So we're just looking forward to all the new initiatives and the support you have provided us, and the local economy and industries and different community colleges. We just appreciate the support in the biotech field.
And let's leave it at that. It's a good time to be alive.
It's a good time.
Thanks, Leslie Eisenhower, our department chair for all things biotech at Wake Tech, for joining us today on the We Are Wake Tech podcast.
Thank you.
With some important Wake Tech news. The college has announced free tuition and fees for students who graduate from North Carolina high schools this year and enroll at Wake Tech in the fall. The opportunity extends to those who complete their high school equivalency or adult high school diploma as well. The first step is to apply online and complete the Federal Financial Aid Application, or FAFSA. The Wake Tech admissions office will do the rest. To get started, just visit waketech.edu/free tuition. The Research Triangle region's new hub for biotech and IT training has officially opened on Wake Tech's RTP campus in Morrisville. The Lilly Science and Technology Center is the home of the college's new biotechnology degree, the Fast Track BioWorks certificate program, and business analytics. It has a real-world aseptic suite for training and a unique co-laboratory for collaboration among students and pros. It'll also be the site of the Wake Early College of Information and Biotechnologies and RTP Bio, a new partnership between Wake Tech and Durham Tech. Sponsors include Eli Lilly and Company, Fujifilm Diosynth, Amgen, Lighthouse, NC Bio, and the Research Triangle Foundation. More than 550 business and government leaders gathered at the Raleigh Convention Center for the 5th annual Wake Tech Ignite. The celebration highlights the remarkable impact of Wake Tech on the community, and this year featured 3 alumni who have made amazing strides on their career ladders. The event also highlighted the college's next campus, Eastern Wake 4.0, under construction in Wendell. Congratulations to Jamie Cassidy and English Flaherty. They are the first recipients of the CEPI Leadership Scholarship. The scholarship supports women seeking careers in science and engineering. It's made possible by a generous donation from CEPI Incorporated, a woman-owned engineering firm based here in Raleigh. Wake Tech is proud to be Amazon's education partner for its Career Choice program. The program provides associate degrees and industry certifications for Amazon hourly employees. Wake Tech also partners with Amazon on its mechatronics and robotics apprenticeship program. Wake Tech culinary and baking students enjoyed the sweet taste of victory at the latest American Culinary Federation competition at the Scott Northern Wake campus. 5 entries received gold medals based on the official ACF point scale. 8 entries received silver medals and 10 earned bronze. Student Christina Bortnick won Best in Show for her cake, Braver Than You Believe, inspired by her love of Winnie the Pooh. Wake Tech cosmetology and aesthetics students are equally as creative. They showcase their skills and talents for a chance to compete in the upcoming Skills USA competitions. 12 cosmetology students were selected to take their projects to the statewide competition in Greensboro in April. 5 aesthetics students will compete in the aesthetics competition taking place here at Wake Tech on April 12th. And a huge congratulations to the Wake Tech women's basketball team. They are on their way to the NJCAA Division II National Tournament. They clinched their spot in the tournament by winning the Region 10 Division II regular season with a 17-1 record. Now, that's impressive. And that's the latest Wake Tech news.
My name is Crystal Seaton. I am the owner of Road to Relaxation Travel, and I also teach Path to Becoming a Travel Advisor at Wake Tech Community College. And I'm just here to talk about some tips for travel for this year. Things are different this year, so my number one tip is just to pack your patience. Know that things are different and that it may not be like traveling in the past, and to kind of go with the flow. With that, I want to remind people to book early. Availability is extremely limited. People are ready to travel. They're ready to get out there and see the world. We've been at home. And so don't wait. Last minute trips are not where it's at right now. Availability is limited and pricing only goes up when availability is limited. So the earlier that you can get in, the better the pricing and the better options that you have. For airport travel, allow yourself some extra time to get through security, and consider investing in TSA PreCheck or Global Entry. Those are a couple of programs that enroll you in PreCheck and to get through customs a little bit quicker. And they're well worth the money if you travel at all, because the world is short-staffed, and that applies to the airport. Along those lines, pack food. People laugh at me. Airports have tons of options, and they do. But again, right now, the world is short-staffed. So pack food to take with you to the airport so that if you do get stuck in a situation where things are closed or lines are longer, that you're not struggling. You have some stuff on hand to kind of tide you through. Flights are going, things are full, people are traveling. So just be prepared for that. In general, know the entry requirements of where you're going. You want to have a passport that's good for at least 6 months after travel. But also right now there are different testing requirements. So know those and double check them because things change regularly. So stay on top of it. And then my last very important tip is just to use a travel professional because we help you with all of these things along the way. We keep up to date on the requirements to get into other countries, to get back. We know what's happening in domestic locations. We kind of know the booking windows and ways to make things happen for you. And we generally have contacts wherever you're going. So those are my best tips to make 2022 a great vacation year for your family.
Thank you for listening to the We Are Wake Tech podcast. Join us next month for more insightful conversations about the programs and people of Wake Tech and how the college changes lives every day. Be sure to subscribe to your favorite podcast app to have each episode delivered right to your computer or mobile device. For more, find us at podcast.waketech.edu. To learn more about Wake Tech's exceptional educational opportunities, visit waketech.edu.